This is the Button Pusher, JPB Independent Media, out here with the one and only Brandi Fisher. How are you doing?
Lovely, lovely.
All right, now, I know personally that you are very active in relations between the city and the police. What do you feel about the civil verdict for Jordan Mouse?
Oh, wow. I haven't talked about that. I feel it was a bittersweet verdict. I mean, we went through this trial before, and the last time we ended up with no decision whatsoever. So I look at it as progress, that an all-white jury did find them guilty of false arrest. I do believe that the jury was a little confused when it came to the technicalities of the law, which I think is shown by their split verdict, that there wasn't excessive force. And so there's just something called the continuum of force that police officers go by, because they are allowed to use force. They're allowed to kill people. And I think the jury just believed that Jordan, not thinking that they were police officers, not knowing that the police officers, thinking he was being robbed, he was fighting for his life, which gave the police officers justification to use force.
Now, a lot of people that I spoke to in my community felt like if they were found guilty of false arrest, that everything that occurred after that arrest was illegal. Do you share that type of opinion?
I share the opinion of our personal opinion, and what is law is different.
Yeah.
And so that's what I try to get the community to understand. That a lot of times it's the law that you have to get changed. According to the law, even the attorneys were confused about how they didn't find that they used excessive force. But again, I think if you're thinking the amount of jurors, they're not people who went to law school. They're everyday people coming in here with, a 5-minute explanation of how they're supposed to think.
Now, you represent a police accountability, Alliance for Police Accountability. How was that going?
Wonderful. We're branching out, doing a lot of political things. I keep networking politically, trying to bring the political officials, the police officials, and the community members together, and we've been successful thus far, going out and educating the community on what their rights are and how to stay politically involved all year round.
All right, I got one more question for you. I'm gonna let you go because I know Mr. Weekly's here. What do you think the community can do? We always try to look at the police and say they did, or we didn't. What do you think the community as a whole can do to improve relationships between the community and the police?
One, the number one thing is really to instill in our young people how crime affects us as a people in a negative fashion, more than it does in a positive way. I know a lot of people look at selling drugs as, a means to a justifiable end for some people who have no other option that they know of. But now, things have changed, and I think we have to have a unified message that, crime in our communities harm us, our education for our children. We see our schools closing. They harm us. No one wants to develop our community, so we don't have businesses. We don't have nice places to live. They harm us because people view us a certain way when we have those factors, and so including police officers, and so we have to have a unified message about the crime in our area, and not as far as just working with the police, but for ourselves, for our own families, for our own safety and for our own sanity, because it's detrimental to our community when you have people fearful of walking out of their homes from somebody that's supposed to be their brother. The way I was raised is family, and we don't look at one another that way anymore. We don't hug each other. We all scared to touch one another.
Scared to touch it
and show love. But honestly, that's really what it comes back down to, because if people don't tell me to mind my business when I try to be a part of the village and help them raise their child, then things will turn out a lot better.
So if somebody wants to get involved with what it is that you do, could you give us a website or tell them how they can get involved?
Sure, they can contact APA at 412-256-8449, or you can hit us on email at info@apapgh.org. Our website will be out next month, www.apapgh.org. Come work with us. We need your assistance. We need your input, and let's turn our city back around.
That's right. JPB, Independent Media, the Button Pusher, Brandi Fisher. Thank you.
JPB.